Well,
So
do you want to talk about those other things? Because I think you have to kind of like the roster, and we could talk about Coach Monahan too.
yeah,
That's
Uh,
where I wanted to go.
you want to go with Coach Monahan?
Yeah, what do you think about that hire in terms of what Nebraska needs?
yeah. So I've known I've known Coach Monahan, sorry, for like at least a decade when he was at Minnesota State or Mankato, whatever you want to call it. And then just every other stop. And he's always just checked in with me on like, hey, any players in Nebraska that we should be looking at every stop along the way. He can get his ability to one, he's a grinder, like he's a hard worker, especially on the recruiting side. But he'll be able to get into like Illinois and maybe Indiana a little bit, maybe a little Ohio, maybe Missouri, like places that kind of aren't generally, we haven't seen recently. He'll be able to get into those places. Um, he's a pretty relentless recruiter guy. Frankly, when he was at Southern Illinois, he recruited Domas, like who ended up, being in the NBA. So, pretty good recruiter as far as that's concerned. More of a defensive guy, I think. But I don't know. I mean, you have kind of the offensive coordinator in Hoiberg or the play caller in Hoiberg, and then the defensive coordinator in Linzer. So you just needed maybe a little more support somewhere along the way. And Pat's been good everywhere he's been. So he's hard and nice guy. He's not a rah rah. Look at me, like the energy recruiter guy. Big like big personality guy like that. He's kind of a little more lay in the weeds and then just get you at the ankles, right? And then knock you over when the timing's right. So, and that kind of fits the personality of like Nate Lenzer and Coach Hoiberg too, a little bit. So, I think it's a good personality fit. It's not a guy that's like has all these NBA connections and all this stuff. That's not what it is. So, but Pat's good. He's going to work hard. I know that. I know he will work hard. Like that is not that is there's no question about his work ethic, in my opinion.
What do you? Where would you put him as a talent evaluator? Because that's a place where I think Nebraska evaluating talent for fits in their system has been something that I think has left a little bit to be desired. Do you think he meets, as a recruiter, do you think he meets that need?
Yeah, I think he's fine. He fits right in with what I guess they do, which you're not getting that high level player like 5-star guys. He won't be. I mean, maybe he might be able to strike something in there, but anymore now we're talking about money, right? So like it's kind of like Nebraska needs to have the money to do it. Also, and this is changing subjects, but you look at kind of what Nebraska has done, and I don't have all the details or know the exact dollar figures that they have paid, but it certainly feels like Nebraska is building around rink mast and rink mast being vitally important for this next season. Um, they're building all these shooters or guys capable of shooting around. And then you have a couple athlete guys like Kendall Blue, who's a really solid basketball player. Jamarcus is coming back. He's gonna be like the point-ish guard. I don't even know if they actually are gonna have like a true point guard. And that's something Coach Hoiberg has said in the past. They don't really need one. They just need offense initiators. Now, if you run into a team that presses a lot or likes to press some, like Oregon can throw some press on you, UCLA can with their system, like then you're going to be in trouble if you just have guys that are kind of pitchy woo woo the ball ahead and get the ball moving fast. I think you still need someone that can really handle the ball and make good decisions. But this roster, the way it's constructed, I like. They got a little more. They got longer for sure. They got deeper for sure. They got more athletic for sure. But the money, it doesn't. It feels like they kind of spreaded the budget out level, like evenly-ish, instead of like, let's go hammer one big-time player or two big-time players, and then we'll kind of fill in the gaps.
What do you think they do? What do you think they do with Berke?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, he's coming back. He signed a 2-year deal last year, right? So unless something changes in the next 12 days, 13 days, he's coming back. They just got to get him back to kind of the level that he was before he got injured. I guess, okay, let's not go all the way before he got injured, but like the little bit of run that he had before he hurt his ankle. And like I said, I mean, I've said this previously to you guys, I think it was last week even, he needs to be better. And I think he's going to be pushed now. Like there isn't, like they had to count on Berke last year. They needed him to be good. I don't think Riek Mast is going to put up with the stuff, if you will. Like I think there's players on the team that aren't going to have it. Now, who are the leaders going to be? Rink will clearly be the leader. Sam Hoiberg will be a vocal leader for sure. Who else kind of steps into that role? It's going to be real interesting because the last 2 years you've had Casey and Bryce. Just kind of you relied on them. In order to win games, you needed one player to score 25 or 20 plus. Tell me on the roster, the way it's constructed now, who that's going to be. I'm not sure there is one, but that's okay because I think there are a lot of guys that can get you 8 to 15 in a game. Like I think there's a handful of guys that consistently will be in that range, so it'll be a little more spread out. And then
I've penciled Price in for about 14-1.
Yeah, like it'll be about he'll need to do that. And I will say this, Price, if you just watch him at Iowa, he can do a lot more than just be in the corner.
Yeah. So that's what I was telling Ravi a couple of weeks ago when he asked about he and Asijan playing together. Price has more to his game than what we saw at Iowa. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, like he can.
He's just not a stand around. He's just not a knockdown shooter.
Right. That's just how they used him. He has a little mid-range game he can do. He actually, I saw him in high school a bunch, bring the ball up the floor, like, and kind of be that offense initiator guy.
The thing I like about him the most is he's so stinking competitive.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's just kind of not a mean-spirited family, but a highly
very competitively
charged family.
Yeah.
And we saw it with his brother all the time. He's constantly mad about something.
Peyton's actually a nice guy.
He's a great guy, but he's
very edge to him.
Yeah, he's going to try to give it to you though.
He definitely has an edge. That's 100% sure.